Hello, publickers, and I hope that it is a happy Friday. I'm Sarah Evans, founder and CEO of Sevens PR. As always, it's important for me to acknowledge that I am not an investing expert, but a passionate and voracious learner with a focus in the tech industry. Today, we're digging into the current state of the NFT market and unpacking how the asset class has been performing as the broader cryptocurrency ecosystem struggles. Here with us today to discuss is Pedro Herrera, Head of Research at DappRadar. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Hi, Sarah. Hi, everyone. Hello, thanks for the invitation. Really excited to be here.
Well, we're very excited to learn from you. So jumping right in, how has the NFT market responded to this bear market?
I mean, to be fair, it's not been as good as it was in the early months. Coming from, if we go back to November when Facebook announced its rebranding to Meta, we experienced a hype cycle around metaverse assets, including NFTs, of course. So that carried away into January, where we see 10 billion in trading volume in NFT overall. And since then, it started to decrease. Of course, the macroeconomic events accentuated by the war in Ukraine started to diminish the entire industry. And of course, started the bear market. And actually, in June, we saw a one-year low in NFT trading volume, with only surpassing 1 billion across all blockchains. But there are more things below this. One is that blue chip, what we consider blue chip NFTs, which we are talking about CryptoPunks, Bored Apes, Doodles, and this type of avatar projects that are released and delivered by a Web3 brand behind them. They are considered by investors as a new class of safer assets. And when we see the performance of these NFTs, actually it is overperforming Ethereum, Bitcoin, and basically the entire crypto market. So it is positive to see that they are depegging as a new type of assets, similar to what we see with art in the Great Depression of 2008, where it started to perform better than the S&P 500. So that is one. And the other thing to consider also is the future of NFTs, because right now we see a hype and explosion around profile pictures and avatars and so on. But if you review the technology behind NFTs and the properties that actually entitle ownership and real authentication to the assets, the potential is huge. I think we are just seeing the tip of the iceberg in terms of use cases. Like, think about tickets, all the tickets, and actually the NFL started to doing this in these playoffs. When you went to an NFL playoff game, you would receive via email an NFL ticket. So tickets, then music is also big, blockchain games, of course, and simply tokenizing items. So while the market is, still down, still the future is really, really bright for this new asset class.
You identified the very thing that I'm following along with NFTs for, and it really is, what are these real life use case scenarios? So I'm also excited about that. Let's talk about Terra. The collapse of Terra and the insolvency issues with BlockFi and Celsius have hurt general confidence in crypto. Now, crypto hedge fund Three Arrows Capital is filing for bankruptcy. A recent DappRadar report said 3AC could deal a black swan effect to the crypto market. Can you elaborate on why that might be?
Yeah, sure. To be fair, the situation is a bit worrying. And why? Because Three Arrow Capitals is one of the premier venture capitals names in the crypto space. They started investing in a lot of projects early, so they got really good investment opportunities in seed rounds, in layer one solutions. Of course, Terra, they were really invested in Terra. Actually, they bought a position. They increased their position in February, buying 11 million Luna tokens worth 500 million, half a billion. And basically, when Terra collapsed, it went to 700. So they lost money there. And then they were also invested in Avalanche. They are also invested in Solana and these layer ones. So at some point, when they need to recoup for the losses, it's very probable that they are going to sell these assets. So when they sell these assets, they create sell pressure on their market. So this could diminish these projects. But also they have positions in Aave and DYDX, other DeFi dApps, and it could also have a similar effect here. But also let's remember that some of these centralized lending platforms like BlockFi, Celsius, and so on, they were also borrowing money to 3AC. So since they filed for Chapter 5 bankruptcy last week, basically nobody can ask for their funds back. So they have a lot of debt with these creditors in the crypto space also. So yeah, it could get a bit muddier, and yeah, we could see liquidity crunches across different platforms, which is not ideal.
No, it's not. While a majority of NFT volume takes place on Ethereum, we're going to talk about Solana now. It has been gaining some traction. What trends are you noticing in the Solana NFT market? How does it compare to Ethereum's? And especially for those of us who are really new to the NFT space, explaining it in a way that we can easily break it down.
Yeah, I mean, Solana is one of the rising blockchains, I would say, not only in NFTs, but also in DeFi. They also have a really exciting gaming ecosystem with upcoming AAA games like Star Atlas, Orrery, and so on. So it's not only about NFTs, but talking about NFTs precisely, yeah, Sarah, you're right. Like month over month, the trading volume increased around 20%, even though the price of Solana is down. The trading volumes measured in dollars are increasing, but when we see the trading volumes measured in Sol, which is the underlying native token of Solana, it's basically 50% up. And also the demand measured by the count of the sales count doubled from last month. So what we are seeing is that the Solana community is engaged. They are looking, of course, for similar projects that were successful in Ethereum. We're talking about, for example, the Bored Apes, with a really strong sense of community. This is what we are seeing. But I would also like to ease a word of caution here, because we are also seeing that a lot of Solana NFT projects are releasing a roadmap, releasing a collection, and they are basically abandoning the project 1 or 2 months after the mint, which is basically not good to see. They are basically grabbing cash and scamming a lot of people. So there are, of course, really good projects there in Solana, but I would say operate with a lot of caution. Do your own research before investing in an NFT project anywhere, like either it's Solana, Ethereum, anywhere, but especially caution in Solana.
Really great insights. Can you also explain what the daily unique active wallet metric is and break down why that's an important data point to follow?
Sure. So we define daily unique active wallets as the number of blockchain interactions with a certain dApp. So in human words, this means I'm going to lay down the example of Axie Infinity, which is a blockchain game. So many people connect daily, millions of people connect daily to play Axie Infinity, and they do it via mobile or via browser. But that doesn't mean that you're already performing a blockchain transaction. A unique active wallet is measured when a wallet literally interacts with the smart contracts of a blockchain application. So, for example, when I do a swap in Uniswap, I need to connect my wallet and then I perform blockchain transactions. So this is where we get the measure. So the number of daily unique active wallets is the number of unique wallets interacting on a daily basis with a certain dApp. And also important to say that this doesn't mean necessarily that it's unique users, because Pedro, I can have 5 different wallets and I can interact 5 different times with the same app. So, but at the same time, it gives us a lot of visibility about the usage, the demands that a blockchain application is having. We can identify if DeFi is being used right now, or maybe not since the Terra collapse, whereas blockchain games have remained a bit of consistent, even though the crisis, even though the crash. So this is where we are pointing out the unique active wallets that measure the demand for a certain blockchain vertical.
Thanks for that. And we would be remiss not to talk about gaming implications and NFTs, especially because my 10-year-old's listening in right now. What's your outlook for gaming NFTs? Play to earn has been a buzzy concept, but it seems it may be taking longer than expected to find success. Would love your insights there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also an avid gamer, but I say that my opinion is literally not biased, and even though I love blockchain games, I say that personally, this is where I see the biggest potential for a blockchain application in the next 3 to 5 years. I mean, if you see the demographics, around 25 or 30% of the world population is playing video games. So there is a lot of opportunity there. And of course, we have NFTs that need to be part of the games. Each blockchain game is based on NFTs, and this is the difference between traditional games and blockchain games, where in blockchain games, people really own their assets. You can easily trade your skin or your pistol in different marketplaces, whereas, for example, in centralized games like Fortnite, you cannot trade your assets. So you're in control of your in-game purchases. And about you talked about the future. I mean, we're heading there. The potential is massive, and I think it's also going to be the way to mass adoption. And talking about play to earn, we see this concept rising around the pandemic, when people were struggling to find other sources of income, especially in emerging economies like Vietnam, Thailand, Philippines, and so on. So people were learning that if they spend like 8 or 10 hours playing a game, not only they were having a bit of fun, but they were earning $50 or $60 daily, which for them was magnificent. But of course, it all starts with cycles, and then we're heading to a cycle where the token prices are being affected, and these games are not as rewarding as they used to be. But this is also important for blockchain games. Why? Because we're in the period of transitioning from what we understood as play to earn to more compelling, more immersive, more entertaining games that are basically going to be played by people to entertain yourselves. As we now play PS5 or Xbox, people are going to play on earn. So this is a really important paradigm shift that we are going to see over the next year probably, where people used to play to earn, and now we are going to see people play on earn.
Pedro, thank you so much for sharing your time and expertise with us today. As with all of our guests on Tech, I take copious notes and learn so much. Where can people find you online? Obviously, DappRadar, DAPP Radar. You can find on Twitter, TikTok. You have a regular podcast off the blockchain. But what about you personally?
Yeah, I mean, I have a Discord podcast all Thursdays at 10 a.m. Eastern on DappRadar's Discord. And yeah, I mean, I'm active on conferences, events, developing a couple of sustainable blockchain projects on my own, and also a couple of NFT projects on my own. And yeah, on Twitter, PAKE012.
All right. I will be following you. Thank you so much for your time. Have a wonderful weekend. For all of those tuning in, we'll see you back next week. Same time, same space. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. Likewise.
If you would like to see more content like this, subscribe to our channel and download the public app where you can listen to these sessions in live time.